Zachary Levi of Shazam 2 was very much derided for, at the time, his performance of Shazam and the reception of the movie shifting from the young actor portraying Shazam as a kid to Zachary Levi. And they kind of, the whole rock issue kind of forced the movie to bomb, calling out Hollywood, saying a lot of these movies are crap, and he wants movie goers to actually care about what they're watching because the industry really doesn't care to make any great and good pictures anymore. His career, I think, is in a weird place because I think post Chuck, he was supposed to be that new funny actor dude, and he hasn't gone anywhere. Like, seems like John Krasinski kind of filled the lane he was given.
It's interesting his perspective on it, just because like he was very outspoken about like how mean people were about Shazam 2 and saying that it's a really great movie. And interesting how hard he defended that film, but also now coming in with this comment of like, yeah, Hollywood makes garbage and we shouldn't accept that. And it's like, well, yes, I guess maybe he doesn't see himself or Shazam. I'm not going to say Shazam is crap. I actually didn't watch the second one. I watched the first one. I thought it was fun, but not like, it wasn't the greatest thing I had ever seen before. It was a fun little romp. It's interesting to see it seems like his own dichotomy on like how he feels about this, because it's like, well, you're sort of a part of it in a way.
You're a part of the problem. You're saying basically all the movies I do is crap. Man, my boy, you chose those movies. The thing about him coming out about it now is also the funny part of, in the midst of, DC figuring stuff out. So it's kind of funny that in the midst of DC, like, saying, yeah, all that stuff we had before, all these actors, they're not coming back. Now he wants to mouth off and say, oh, this is crap, kind of thing. I feel like now that his pocketbook is being hit with it, now, the idea of just doing pure superhero movies, carte blanche, is a bad idea.
Speaking of another person in this DC world, wait, is it DC? No, is it Marvel? Is it Sony? God. Aaron Taylor Johnson gave an interview before the strikes happened, so it was fine. That he didn't really care for his major franchise roles. He said that he wasn't interested in doing those kind of things. Like, he did Kick-Ass and he did that movie Godzilla. He did The Avengers, and he was like not interested in it. And yet he's back to do Kraven the Hunter. And basically he's saying like the script was so different and the director was different, and that it wasn't going to be like a jokey haha kind of quippy Marvel movie, but that it was going to be really serious. And it's very funny how, you know what, I respect Michael Shannon for just straight up being like, this doesn't make any sense. Why am I doing this? I have no idea. I'm still going to do it though. I respect that line of thinking of where that this is dumb, but you're just gonna do it maybe because you need the money, or maybe because you're just like, whatever, I'm bored. Like, I just respect that more than people being like, actually, we're doing something totally different here. Like, you've never seen
a
superhero movie like this, and then you watch it and you're like, okay, so this is exactly like everything else and maybe worse. So it's very funny how like these actors try to like change it around to make it, or maybe even make themselves feel like what they're doing is like worth doing. Like, in terms of, if you're going to do the superhero thing, like they're trying to like twist their way into figuring out like how this has some kind of artistic creative merit. And I'm not saying it doesn't. Like, I think the people who work on these films are very talented. I'm just saying, like, in the grand scheme of like what we're getting in cinema, especially from these types of movies where it seems very by the numbers, and that because it has to fit within an entire arc of like other movies that haven't even come out yet, you're limited creatively. You're not really doing anything different because you can't do anything different, right? There are limitations to what you can do. Because to me, unless you're doing like a Chris Nolan Batman or a Denis Villeneuve Dune, you're not really doing anything different. Or even the Batman by Matt Reeves. Like, and to me, that could have even gone further. I want to support you, Aaron, but like, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what to say.
Aaron, you go from Kick-Ass, you do Godzilla, you do Avengers. You're saying I didn't care for them because I thought they were bad. But you're still doing them. Like, you can't say they're trash and then continue to do trash. Like, doesn't make any sense. Like, at all. Like, the only movie outside of that purview that was good, like, was Tenet. Even though Tenet was confusing, everybody enjoyed it.
And he did Anna Karenina, which was an amazing movie. Yeah. He's done some really good, all the stuff that isn't superhero stuff. Yeah. Wonderful.
So complaints about the superhero movies But it's clear he can act in other projects and do that very well. But he still does the superhero movies. You can't do that.
I really want to know what goes through their heads when they're thinking about these things. Like, how do you explain it? Like, I'm just so curious. Like, how do you make it make sense to you?
Did you like that clip? Well, you can listen to the entire podcast because the 16mm Film Crew podcast is available on all major podcast platforms.